What's going on, brothers and sisters around the world? It's your boy Terryl with the Y Humphrey, and welcome to another episode of Failure is Knowledge. Today we got two special guests. We got my brothers. We got Eriedian and we got Devon, and it's gonna be a great conversation because now we're speaking about the impact that father have on our lives. So before we dive deep with the conversation, we're gonna introduce my two brothers and we're gonna go into the conversation. So who are y'all? What do y'all do and where y'all from?
My name is Devon. I'm the founder of On Track Protective Group. I'm from Little Rock, currently staying in Dallas. That's our base of operations.
Fly. So my name is Eriedian Castrelo. You can find me under TGP_Eriedian on Instagram. I'm currently staying in Florida. Just came down here to Dallas, shoot this show with my brothers. But a little bit about me is, man, I'm just trying to help people become the best version of themselves.
For sure.
Yeah, we diving deep. We diving deep. So we getting straight to the topic, man. We getting straight to the
Let's
topic.
get
So
into it.
the topic is, how does fathers impact our lives? So you can tell your story, what you learned, and we just go from there.
All right, cool. Let's get into it. Like this conversation, like ever since you hit me about it, I've been thinking about it because like what's kind of crazy is like I don't think I've had this conversation with my father yet. You know what I'm saying? Like the impact he's had on my life. Because it's one of those things where you kind of think about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like with me not having my father in the house, like what would that feel like, or what would it be like, or how different would it be in life with my father in the house? I'm a successful business person now. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a lot of things, and I've had male mentees in my life that have curved me to where I need to get. But I feel like it's definitely definitely had an impact as far as growing up, waking up in a single parent household, and then being full of women. I only had my grandmother, my mother, and my siblings. Like I said earlier, it's like that's all I had. So I feel like a lot of those important moments that your father would kind of be there to like help you out on. Learning how to shave. Those little bitty things. Learning how to tie a tie. And I didn't learn how to do that until I got into ROTC. So I surrounded myself in a lot of male-led programs, and I think that kind of helped a little bit. But that impact that it had, I mean, truthfully, honestly, I don't feel like we'll never understand that impact that it had until we have kids of our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, in my opinion, like until you have kids, you'll never understand, like, okay, this is what I was missing. This is what I needed. This is at that time in my life when I was 8. Now my son is 8, so these are the things that I'm having to do for him, or these are the places and the spots he needs me to be. That's when I feel like you kind of more understand. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I understand that there's a lot of delays and there's a lot of things I don't know because I didn't have my dad, or there's a lot of times that I wanted to talk to him and I couldn't talk to him, whether it be I couldn't contact him or he was in jail. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much our problem, was jail for him. But as far as like just understanding that impact, like I know I can speak on it, but like I know that I completely feel that impact once it's my turn.
That was deep.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
Bro.
I mean,
Did you think about it like that?
To a certain extent, because
Yeah.
I didn't know you had a son.
No, I don't. So
Oh,
I'm saying,
if you had
I
a son.
won't.
Oh.
Well, so what I'm saying, so what I'm saying is like I don't feel like I personally understand the complete impact
Until
of
you become a dad.
until I become a dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like I said, you know exactly what you're missing or you feel is you're missing, but where do we get that experience of like, okay, damn, I needed my dad? Like those moments where it's like graduation or any kind of events where you're looking out and he's not there. You kind of like
You see
kinda
one
sucks.
side of the
You know what
spectrum.
I'm
You
saying?
don't see the other side.
You don't see the other side to that spectrum of where it's like, okay, well, how much does that really mean to you as a kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it just affected by what people are saying around you? I had people talking about, oh, he ain't this, he ain't that. But it's like, that kind of plays a part into how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're hearing all these people say these things about this person that you love to death because he's your dad, but it's like, where is he? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I know how I felt as a little kid at the time, but, like, I don't understand, like, the effects it played on my life. Because, like I said, I had male mentees in my life. You know what I'm saying? So they picked up a lot of those corners and stuff like that. So I don't know pretty much, like, how I would completely feel without them. But I don't know how I honestly feel until I honestly have that shot. Like, I always tell myself, I know y'all do this all the time, like, I'm not doing it with my kids. I'm not raising them this way. I'm not going to leave my kids. I want to have a household when I have my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the reason, because it's like, I know that this made me feel some type of way, but I want to make sure that my kids don't feel that same type of way. I want to be there so that you can close out that hurt of your dad not being there. You know what I'm I'm saying? Because once you're there for your kids, it don't matter no more. It's like, it's my time. It's my journey. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how I feel it.
You said mentees. Do you mean mentors?
Mentors,
Okay,
mentors,
okay.
mentors.
Just want to clarify.
Mentors,
Now,
mentors.
I like that though because most people think generational curses come from finances, or they come from like just other sources of struggles. But passing down, not having a father, that's a generational curse itself too, and it could stem from like what you said, growing up like in a single parent household where it's you surrounded by women, and being the oldest too. If you have siblings and you the oldest, now you kind of got to play multiple roles. Like you got to take care of your siblings, you got to take care of your moms, but all while you still trying to learn from the women, right? So I say that to say like what you said was key. Like all my family be like, oh, your father ain't this, your father ain't that. Whole time you don't even know your dad for real. So you got this different picture of him like, nah, that's like, why are you talking about it? Like, that's my dad. Like, nah, he's cool. As you growing up, it starts sinking in your head a little bit more, and you start taking on what they saying versus what you originally thought. Now you don't have your own thought of what your dad is like. Now you play the role of, like, for example, not to use my mom, but like, let's say hypothetically, my mom's like, your dad he doesn't work to anything. So you're like, nah, first you defend him. Then over time, you're like, you know what? Where is he? You know what? Maybe you're right. And you start leaning towards more of your mom's side without even giving your father that time to explain where he's at, that other side of the spectrum. So it's cold, man. It could go multiple ways.
And the fact that we all have similar stories, because you hit a point, bro. I talked about this a couple months ago. It was about that every time I look in the stands, my dad was not in the stands. My mom was there, biggest supporter, but my dad was not there. And then I got so used to me suppressing my feelings. I started playing on the field. Once I played on the field, it's like everything get blocked out. What I've learned is that yes, even though my dad was in my life, I know him. I know of him.
Yeah, like I know you. I could call and talk to him now. You know what I'm saying? But
rather not.
That's exactly where I was getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna say I'd rather not, but it's just like now is when things go on and we so grown now. It's like I wanted to talk to you when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like now when I chop it up, my pops is just like, okay, cool. And I had that burden, like just tell him what you're going through. Just tell him. But it's just like
you should just because of when you said that, I felt how heavy it was on your heart. If you don't tell him that, you're gonna hold this resentment for so long that you don't even know why you're feeling some type of way because you're reacting off of your emotions that you didn't even deal with. And this coming from your brother, you feel me? Like I felt that. I sent him a podcast with Circle of CEOs, and Alex Good Energy. He just met his dad. He was 39 years old. 39 years old. He said when he saw, he was like, bro, he cried. He wanted to prove to his dad that he can be successful. And as he was successful, it was pushing him away.
A lot of times there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way. They don't even know their people.
Yeah, bro.
That's why I say love isn't taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course you see actions a way that people love and that makes you love more and different. But when you're a kid, you automatically love your mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, just somehow, some way, that's been instilled into you. So the more and more and the more and the more you go, you want to prove to them, like, okay, either in some situations, I want to be better than my dad, or I want to be just like my dad. Or in my situation, I love my dad to death. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing against him or anything like that, but like, I want to be better. I want my kids under one roof. You know what I'm saying? I tell like every woman that I've talked to in my family for the past couple of weeks, I've been telling them like, we don't have nothing but a name. The males in our lives are passing away, and they ain't left nothing. They haven't left no resources, no anything to further the family name or further the grandkids or anything. We don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I don't want to be that guy.
Like you said, it's all love, but you got to be better. And that's not disrespect. That's your parents shouldn't take that as disrespect. Like that should be their main job is to nurture you, teach you, and help you grow into a better version of themselves. I tell that to my mom, like, cause it was me and my mom for a long time. Now I got my dad in the picture. I recently just took a picture with both of them, and it felt good to just have both of them together in one room. It's no bad blood, and I don't think it really ever was bad blood. It's just my dad needed to separate to regain control of his life and just find his purpose, his clarity. You know what I'm saying? He needed to build his foundation. But it's cool to see him now, and we're able to have those talks, actually. Like, I remember talking to him while we was in the car. We was talking about this same exact thing, like having a role model, having a man in your life. And he has his own stepson right now. So he told me, like, man to man, he's like, man, like, what I wasn't able to teach you, I'm able to teach my stepson. And, like, it's a cool feeling because I wasn't there for you, and he apologized, but it's like I get to be there for my stepson. So it made me tear up, but it was cool.
That's why you should have that conversation. He just described everything that I saw in the video. I felt how that made him feel, but he already experienced it.
Yeah, for
It'll
sure.
make you cry. It's a tearjerker for sure because
Yeah.
you being honest with
It's
him,
a
he being
hard
honest with you.
conversation.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
so-
hard conversation that needed to be.
Needs to happen. Needs to happen.
Because
Yeah.
if it doesn't, it's like you're prolonging your recovery and healing process.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. So what is y'all definition of a man?
That's cold. Shoot, a man, in my opinion, like, because again, we grew up with women, so we were taught obviously to handle our business. We gonna always handle our business. That's one thing. Like the women in my family, they taught me how to go above and beyond. It was superheroes. But then, like you said, there's certain things that women can't teach a man. They can't teach a man. Like if we want to go talk about like fixing cars or like just little stuff like that, it goes deeper than that. It's like how to stand up with your chest out, your head high. You walk with confidence, how to build confidence. So being a man to keep, you know, and it's not to go too long, but it's just having your word and standing on your word. Being able to deliver on your results every single time, regardless of how you feel or what's against you. Even if you don't pull through, you're gonna communicate. Like if, let's say for example, I couldn't make it to the podcast, I'm not just gonna ghost y'all.
Yeah.
As a man, I'm gonna tell you like, hey, I apologize. I wasn't
Something
able to
happened.
make
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
For sure.
So it's just standing on your word. For sure.
Yeah, I think you hit that, and especially today's age. Like that's the best example you can give is like being a man of your word. You know what I'm saying? Being someone who delivers. You know what I'm saying? A year ago, you would ask me, I'm probably like a provider, this and that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's a big impact it plays on fathers as well in our community is the fact that they're required to do so much. They're required to be that one thing for everybody and not feel any emotions. You know what I'm saying? So like, in my opinion, being a man is being true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how to control your emotions, knowing how to stand on your word, and knowing who you are and what you want, and going after it. You know what I'm saying? And taking care of the things that you bring into this world. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing to me. Like, I told one of my partners a couple days ago, you know, he had a baby. I got a baby coming on the way. And I asked him what he gonna do about it. He was like, it ain't no problem. I told him straight up, like, well, we done. Nigga, like, we not cool. Like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's sitting around somebody allowing them to do that, y'all both weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't how this supposed to go. You know, like, as men, we supposed to make sure that we stay in line. If we say we friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I catch you doing something that you, hey, man, vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Like, kids need, it's important. Like we said,
That
man,
accountability.
because the impact of fathers, they hit it many different ways that we don't realize. You know what I'm saying? Like a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You never seen two people in love act a certain way because you don't have that in the household. So you might have problems in your relationship because you don't know what's going on. Especially if you go get with somebody who had a two-parent household. So they know, okay, my dad treats my mom like this. So that's how you should treat me. You know what I'm saying? Or at work, or you haven't had that person to go and be like, man, this happened today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you either got to figure it out, or you take advice from somebody else. And most of the time for our culture, it's somebody that's in the streets, and that's where we end up going down the wrong way. So I feel like the impact that they have by not being there is very important. And the old way they look at men is a big cost to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, men should be able to be men now. You know what I'm saying? Be able to feel, be able to have emotions, and be able to try their best. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if the world took a step back on men a little bit, it'll make it a better place, and we'll have more fathers because they would see that it's like, I mean, you mean something to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do this. And it's just generation on generation.
Can I add to that too? Like what you're saying is so dope because nowadays, if we look modern time, bro, like there's no morals. There's no morals, there's no values. And when I see a woman and she acting any type of way, my immediate thought is like, who is the people around her? Who are the men around her? Because if a woman just doing whatever she want, she don't got a solid man guiding her and leading her. So I think as a man also, you should be the one that, and I learned this from other men. Like we was talking about, you just running around thinking you a man, then you come around somebody that's, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
doing
that's
what he's
really
supposed to be
man.
doing.
Like, you a little boy.
Watch.
It's gonna humble you. It's gonna humble you real quick, and you're gonna learn like, okay, I was doing this, but I'm supposed to be this, and that's because you was running around with no real values, no real morals.
And one thing that I always say, because you hit on it, a woman can only teach a man so much. And a boy has to learn how to be a man from a man. Right? We all have mentors. And the mentors in our lives are men. Some don't look like us. Some are not the same complexion as us. And I'm saying this because we have to get uncomfortable having the hard conversations with people that we don't really think we can connect with. So this gonna have to be a part 2 because it's helpful because I know this is gonna help you more than you had that conversation with your pops. But before we end, how can people work with you? Well, not even work with you. In closing, what's your closing remarks?
I just want to say this. It's very important that you understand, especially if you are someone without a father in your house or anything like that. Find you a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Find you a mentor, and when you get that mentor, you know, explain to them how you feel not having a father. Explain to them what you're lacking and what you're missing as a young boy trying to become a man. And utilize all these different platforms, YouTube, TikTok. I know they got a guy on YouTube called YouTube Dad or something like that. And he just teaches you the basics on how to change a tire, how to put a tire on, how to do these certain things. I feel like that's very important if you're missing that father instinct that you need or that man instinct that you need. Get you a mentor, lock in, and don't give up. You know what I'm saying? If I can teach you one thing on how to be a man, it's just not giving up. Don't allow an obstacle to stop you. Keep going, figure it out, and learn from whoever you can until you get to a point where it's like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? And always be receptive of learning. I think that's my closing.
That's heavy. It's like, how you gonna top that?
How you gonna top that?
Nah, for real though, like to add, you know how people say to piggyback.
Yeah,
To piggyback off that, like my thing is you can't feel some type of way for not knowing everything. You're not gonna know everything. So when you go find yourself a mentor, find yourself somebody that's doing better than you. Don't find somebody that's on your level. Find somebody that's doing better than you and learn every single thing that they're doing. And it's 2 things. You could take the good and leave the bad. Nobody's perfect. So you're going to see something, and just because he's doing it don't mean you got to take up on it. Learn from it. Take it in. If it's bad, if it's not going to help you, don't use it. If it's going to help you, use it. And for me, like, we're about to go see Keys today. Shout out to Keys. Like, I look at him and I'm like, bro, this guy is full of wisdom, intelligent, like what I feel like I could be if I really put myself to it. I say that to say like he's levels ahead of me, but that's cool because you could catch up as long as you put the work. So get comfortable being uncomfortable and find somebody that's doing better than you so you could catch up to what they was putting down.
So in closing, just ask questions. Get around older people that's willing to teach you and guide you along the way. There's no such thing as a dumb question or crazy question. Learn to ask a question so you can be prepared to ask the correct questions that will help you later on in life. Fellas, man, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your knowledge. Appreciate it.
We catch y'all on next time.